Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Tips in 10, where we give you the top tips in the least amount of time. This series was built to help you stay in the know without taking a chunk out of your schedule. Let's welcome today's guest, the OG hype artist, Michael Schein. He is the author of the Hype Handbook, 12 indispensable success secrets from the world's greatest propagandists, cult leaders, mischief makers, and boundary breakers, published by McGraw-Hill, an in-demand speaker at keynotes for Fortune 100 corporations. Today, Michael will discuss how the power of hype in marketing can turn your business from unknown to well-known. He will share his effective strategies to scale your business that he learned by researching people like propaganda artists, cult leaders, and A-list celebrities. It's not your normal marketing conversation, but it will sure change the way you approach your personal brand or company's marketing. Welcome, Michael. Let's go, brother.
All right, Mike, let's do it.
Dude, how you doing today?
Doing great. How you
I
doing?
love it. I love it. Doing very well. So branding and marketing are popular terms, right? But you use the word hype instead. Why is that?
I feel that most terms that start out being very meaningful become relatively bland and useless after a while, right? Like, so the word disruption used to mean a real thing. It meant actually coming into an industry and making that industry irrelevant in a very real way. Now, any company you talk to, the founder is telling you they're going to disrupt, even if it's a sheet metal company. Disruption, disruption, disruption. I feel the same thing has happened with marketing and branding. Marketing has become equivalent with pushing the right buttons on social media and getting the right marketing automation tool. And branding has gone from something that is really about differentiating yourself to a way that companies put the color palette together and the right language together to impress investors and themselves more than the market. So hype is a word that's usually considered a negative, but I've often found that looking to people who actually do the work of drumming up a lot of attention and emotion instead of those who are capital M professional marketers and capital B professional branders is a much better way to bring attention to your business. So I decided to just go for it and use that term instead.
I love it. So not many people are using the word hype then in the marketing and branding world.
They use it in hip hop, funnily enough.
Okay.
So in
Yeah.
streetwear brands and in hip hop, it's the only sector until I dare say what we've done where it's considered a positive thing. And it's that idea that, hey, we don't have all the resources in the world. Let's make it happen by any means necessary. And I like that attitude. And most
Yeah.
professional businesses don't have that attitude.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So you spent years researching the marketing habits used throughout history by propagandists, rock bands, social media stars, both good and bad, which honestly, in my mind, is absolutely brilliant. Is there a common characteristic that you see of marketing throughout them that really stuck out to you?
I think it's a trick question because I don't think any of those people think of themselves as marketers. And the way that
Mm.
I realized that was that when I was a kid, when I was in my early 20s, I guess you would call that a kid, I was really good at what you're calling marketing. I played in a band. We never quote unquote made it because it takes a lot to make it, but we used to sell out popular venues all the time. And never in a million years would have I said that that was marketing. It was hyping things up. It was being funny and it was being playful. It was promoting a show, but we never would have called that marketing. And then when I went into business many years later, I was a big professional who had just come out of the corporate world. So I decided to market myself. And I learned search engine optimization and sales funnels and the 3 Ps. And I almost went broke. But what I realized was the best people who do what you're calling marketing aren't marketers. Good marketers often get good jobs, they get good paychecks, they know how to talk the talk. But the people who actually need to get customers to buy their stuff or else they're going to starve, they don't think of themselves as marketers most of the time.
So what are they doing? I mean, what is it that people gravitate them for?
They have an understanding of mass psychology,
Mm,
know it or not. Some people have studied it. Most of these people just have a knack for it. They just understand how people act in groups. They understand that people aren't rational in groups. They understand that people get swept up in frenzies. And you can see it in everyone from Richard Branson to Gandhi to Donald Trump to, sadly, Adolf Hitler to Malcolm X, right? I mean, the content is different across the board, but all of these people understand mass psychology. Weirdly, a lot of professional marketers and branding people don't. You would think that would be the first thing they understood, but they're more interested a lot of times in should we get HubSpot or a different marketing automation technology.
right, right. So and just for our audience, like what is it that they can do to help have a better understanding of maybe the psychology of a group? Maybe their target audience.
I think a good 1-2 punch, since this is 10 minutes, not an hour, is to stop reading so many business books and start reading about people who have done what I'm talking about successfully. So instead of reading marketing strategies for the 21st century or whatever, and I'm saying this as a guy who wrote a business book, read a biography of Malcolm McLaren, the Sex Pistols manager, who got England so unhappy that they brought this stuff up in Parliament and their song went to the top of the charts and they couldn't even mention the name. Read about that guy. There's a great biography of that guy.
I
That's
love
not a
it.
marketer. That's
No,
not 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
yeah,
And the other thing is think about how you perceive the world and be honest. A lot of times we do promotional sales marketing campaigns based on like best practices, but we would never in a million years open our checkbooks and our wallets for the tactics that we're using on prospects. These
truth.
blaring countdown clocks, you know what I mean? That we all know are fake. That
Yes,
say that the thing, this will never be, mentioned. This will never be offered again after this when we know they're going to offer it tomorrow, right?
right,
We would
right.
never fall for that, but we have it on all our stuff because we read it in
Yeah,
a business book.
yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. So there's a saying that there's riches in the niches. How have you gone about deciding, which niche you want to serve?
I guess like so many other business owners and entrepreneurs, I started out by serving whoever would approach me, right? And
Right.
and I think it's hard not to do that. I think what I did was, there's really an interesting intersection between who you can serve best and who you like working with best. They're usually really deeply connected. So of all the companies I work for, I found that the companies that I liked working best and got the most out of me were venture funded tech startups. So not startups, right? So a company that is self-funded by a really smart business owner who made their living in something else and is funding their company. Amazing companies, not great for us because they're a lot of times they have the halo effect. They figured because they were successful in making cogs for engines, they're going to be really good at being an executive coach, and there's no connection, right?
Yep.
So a venture funded tech startup is great for us because our approach is very risk oriented. It's experimental. Those people are very risk oriented. Our approach, there's a certain, they have to be deeply involved. Those companies have teams. They're companies who have really cutting edge, important products, which I like working with. And they have budgets. So I found that I love working with them. And as a result, I've been able to focus on those companies and have become known as the company that serves those companies. So think about that combination of what's meaningful to you, what field would you like to see, do better, and who fits your business model, really.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Well, just because we are tips in 10. First of all, thanks for dropping those nuggets. We got to have a little fun too with a little speed round. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite parts, if not the favorite part of the tips in 10. So I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you hot. Number one, Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, because it doesn't have the bread on the top, too. You got to have it on the
It's
top
on the
and the bottom.
sides. It's on the sides.
When it's on the sides, it's not a sandwich. Yeah, unless you tilt it. If you ate the hot dog like this, like to the side,
What if you do that? It's
that
true.
could be a
it's
sandwich.
True.
But it would probably fall out. That could be a problem.
I agree. So do you go by the 5-second rule? When food drops on the floor.
I mean, pre-COVID, absolutely. Post-COVID, not at all.
COVID has brought is changing the game. So name a behavior a dog can get away with that a human can't.
And licking your mouth unless it's on the third date or later.
I love it. Well, Michael, thank you so much. How can our audience learn more about you?
Well, the best way to learn about me is reading my book. That I give away everything for a low price. So it's called The Hype Handbook, and just go on Amazon, or if you're lucky enough to have a bookstore that carries that kind of stuff. And my company is called Microfame Media. So if you go to microfamemedia.com and you're interested in what we do, that's all there.
Awesome. Mike, thanks so much for joining us today on Tips in 10. Have an awesome rest of the day.
Thanks, Mike.